Vertical form factor, illuminated analog sticks, and the presence of arkos firmware. RG36, is it the next generation of the legendary R36S console or a downgrade? Let's figure it out together. In this video, we'll unbox the RG36 console, compare it to the original R36S, talk about the software, and of course test a few games. But first, let's take a look at the technical specifications. The RG36 console still runs on the RK3326 chip, which features 4 Cortex-A35 cores. Graphics performance is handled by the Mali G31 MP2 processor. The console comes with 1 GB of DDR3 RAM, a 3.5-inch display with a resolution of 640 by 480 pixels, and 2 microSD card slots. The battery capacity is 3200 mAh. All these specs are identical to the regular R36S. The console operates on a Linux-based system with an arkos interface. So where's the catch? Let's keep investigating. Let's move on to the unboxing. The RG36 console arrived in this nice green box with a schematic image of the console. It looks quite stylish. Let's open it up. Inside we find the console itself, which we'll set aside for now. Beneath the console and under the plastic insert are a USB Type-A to USB Type-C charging cable, screen cleaning wipes, and a manual. Strangely, there is no protective screen cover included. Now let's take a closer look at the console itself. The console features a black translucent plastic case. The front is slightly matte, while the back has a textured finish with small dots. Personally, I don't like this texture, as it makes the console uncomfortable and even unpleasant to hold. The body of this console is thicker compared to the regular R36S and weighs slightly more. On the back, we see that the battery compartment is sealed. On the RG36, you need to unscrew a screw to access the battery, whereas the R36S has a simple cover that can be easily opened if needed. Another difference is the speaker, which for some reason is also located on the back, a very odd design choice. Let's peel out the protective film, power on the console, and check out the screen. We're greeted by the RG36 logo, followed by the arkos firmware booting up. The first thing I usually do is go to the settings and turn off the background music in the user interface, as I don't really like it. By the way, this console was provided to me by the store datafrogx.com, and I like to thank them for that. In their store, you can buy not only the RG36, but also the regular R36S and other handheld consoles. All the details and links can be found in the description box. The inclusion of arkos is undoubtedly a plus, since it allows you to install the Portmaster app, giving you access to hundreds of popular and cool games like Half-Life, GTA Vice City, and many others. I've covered how to install these games in separate videos. In one of them, I even launched and played Half-Life 2. Links to these videos are in the description box. On the front of the console, we see grey control buttons. They are mounted on a single plastic base, so pressing one button causes all the others to move slightly. The buttons press softly, but feel very cheap. I much prefer the buttons on the R36S. Now let's move on to the D-pad. It has a soft rubber membrane, which in my experience sometimes results in missed inputs during gameplay, and diagonal directions are particularly unpredictable. In my opinion, this is one of the worst D-pads I've ever tested. The analog sticks on the RG36 are identical to those on the R36S. They have a slightly rubberized surface and a small tilt angle. However, the main feature of this console is not just the diagonal placement of the analog sticks, but also their illumination. Unfortunately, this illumination is standalone and not integrated into the system. It has a separate backlight button on the back panel. The number of backlight modes is very limited and looks more like a Christmas tree garland. In real life, it looks very cheap, since the light is unevenly distributed, forming 4 distinct bright spots. Where compared to other budget consoles, their lighting looks much better and truly adds a futuristic touch to the design. Overall, I think the lighting alone is not a reason to buy this console. The Start and Select buttons on the front panel, as well as the Backlight and Function buttons on the rear panel, are miniature in size. They are stiff to press and give a micro-click feedback, which in my opinion isn't very convenient. What really surprised me is that there are only 2 shoulder triggers. The R36S has 4 shoulder buttons on the back, while this one only has 2. Some games require all 4 buttons, like Half-Life. Additionally, extra buttons are handy for quick loading and saving. Because of the limited controls, playing on the RG36 will be harder. Moreover, the triggers are very stiff and hard to press. On my RG36, the left trigger doesn't even work in the lower part, probably a defect. Overall, I can say that the RG36 design was heavily cost-cut, and this is truly disappointing. Interestingly, I tested the RG36 screen and found that it has the original screen without a function button, even though the button is present. After installing the newer firmware, the function button started working and all button combinations for exiting games and accessing emulator settings worked perfectly, so you can safely update the console to the latest firmware. And before we continue, please like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. This helps me promote the channel. Also, you can click the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. Thank you for your attention. Let's continue. Now let's test a few classic retro games and see how the RG36 handles them. We'll start with simple, graphically light Nintendo games that this console should handle without any issues. These games are excellent and bring a lot of positive emotions. Similarly, the console handles Sega games well. I am not a big fan of the Mortal Kombat series, but I know many of you are huge fans of these games. Game Boy Advance games also work well, even with shaders that create a grainy screen effect like on the original console. Next is the Nintendo 64. In Mario Kart, the lack of extra shoulder buttons on the back is noticeable, so you'll need to go into the settings and remap the controls. However, the game itself runs well. PlayStation games also run smoothly. The image is grainy but playable. GTA Vice City Stories for PSP is one of the most graphically demanding games for this console. As with all other consoles of this level, we see a low FPS even at minimum graphics settings. The FPS ranges from 30 to 10 frames per second, so the RG36 is better suited for games like Loco Roco or Little Big Planet. Games from the Portmaster section, such as Half-Life or GTA Vice City, run stably and are enjoyable to play, although some control issue may arise. Remember that thanks to Portmaster, you have access to a massive library of games. In my opinion, the RG36 console, unfortunately, is not the next generation of the legendary R36S. It did not get better, and the build quality, D-pad and buttons make the gaming experience frustrating and unpleasant. Moreover, the presence of illuminated analog sticks doesn't make this console unique or premium, therefore I can't recommend this console for purchase. You're better off buying the standard R36S instead. It's much better, more convenient and user-friendly. And just a reminder, you can purchase this console and the R36S from Frog RG36 using the link in the description box. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I wish you pleasant nostalgia and successful completion of your favorite games.